Welcome into WFRV Plus Sports Night. Big day for the Green Bay men's basketball team. The first time they have advanced to Indianapolis, I want to make sure I get this right, since the 2019-2020 season. GB defeating the 6th seed in Purdue-Fort Wayne, 64-56. So GB will go on to the next round. They will go to Indianapolis, play for a continued run at a conference championship and an NCAA tournament appearance. I mean, so much on the table for this Green Bay team. They won this one by 8 again, 64-56, the final. This was a game I think that Green Bay fans expected Doug Gottlieb and his group to win. I mean, they swept the Mastodons this year. So, I mean, they do say it's hard to beat a team 3 times, but why not? Marcus Hall led the way for GB, 19 points. Preston Riedinger, 8 assists, 1 turnover. Do we have like a clap emoji? Nope. That works. That's insane. An 8-to-1 turnover assist ratio, and he played 37 minutes. That's insane. Where's the clap? Nope, not that one. There it is. There it is. Clap. Let's get another. Nope. More clap. Insane, bro. So, I mean, you look at the numbers. Purdue-Fort Wayne shot only 40% from the floor, 23 of 57. They shot 21% from 3. Green Bay didn't turn the ball over, and they led for 95% of this game. I mean, that was what Doug said. Gotta guard well. They guarded well. They didn't turn the ball over, only 7 turnovers, and they rebounded. They only lost the rebounding battle by 3. So that's hardly losing. But that's a huge win for them, man. Really happy for GB. Doug Gottlieb has proven over and over and over that I think he is the guy there this season. He's won the games he's needed to win. He's lost some close ones again. Green Bay 10-2, I want to say, this year in games decided by 8-3 in games decided by 5 points or less. The one thing I want to note, though, I reported earlier this year that Green Bay, when they hold teams to less than 75 points, that's kind of been their magic number. And that's what they did. I mean, holding a team to 56 points in a 40-minute game, Division I college basketball game, is pretty impressive. So I think it's to be determined who Green Bay will play next. The Horizon League tournament format is kind of weird. I think you get... Yeah, I don't know. Let's look. Actually, let's just find out. Okay, here it is. So in the second round at Indy at the Corteva Coliseum, the second worst seed will play the first round winner, and then what best? Oh, okay, I understand. The second best seed first round winner. Interesting. Okay, so I'm pretty positive that Wright State is going to get a bye into the semifinals because they would be the best seed from the first round win. This is interesting. This is so interesting. There's a play-in game between Cleveland State and IU Indianapolis. That already happened. I'm not even sure who won that game. Wright State plays either today, tomorrow, or today or tomorrow. Let me get back on track. Essentially, if Green Bay is the worst seed to move on to the next round, which would make sense because of the teams that would move on, like just higher seed-wise, it'd be Oakland, Green Bay, Detroit Mercy, RMU, and Wright State. Wright State would get the bye, and then Green Bay would likely play Oakland in the next round, who they went 1-1 this year. They actually split those games. That was the game that Doug Gottlieb did not coach in. Kerry Rupp won that game for Green Bay. So I'm trying to get this right. So Green Bay would most likely play Oakland, or they would play the next lowest seed, which would be maybe Northern Kentucky or Milwaukee or Youngstown State, because that would be become the second. Then Green Bay would be the second worst seed, and that team would be the worst. So they definitely have to play in the second round. And then it looks like they would play Wright State, and then RMU and Detroit Mercy, if God wills it, would play in the semifinals. Interesting. Okay, So we kind of understand how that works. So Green Bay will play either Youngstown State, Milwaukee, Northern Kentucky, or Oakland. It's one of those 4 teams. Detroit Mercy, Youngstown State, Milwaukee, Oakland. Sorry, one of those five teams. One of those 5 teams. That's how it's going to go. Well, unless there are multiple upsets. Like, for example, if RMU, Detroit Mercy, and Oakland were all to lose in the first round, Green Bay might get a bye, and they might go into the second round. Well, not a bye, but they wouldn't have to play Wright State in the semifinals, which actually I think that is huge. If that could happen, that's huge. Actually, let's just check in while we're here on the Horizon League standings, if we should. Why not? Or box score, if you will. That is not what I was looking for. Hold on. Stay with me now, y'all. Stay with me now. By the way, Purdue Fort Wayne downed the Phoenix in double overtime at the Crest in 21 by a score of 89-84. So this is a big win. It's a big win for a lot of reasons, man. Of course, my search bar is taking about a millennium just to load some scores. Okay, here we go. Horizon League. Oh, this was a standalone game. What? All right, well, there you go. So I guess every other Horizon League game is tomorrow. That's insane. Why would they do that? Anywho, all right. Well, the lineup tomorrow is going to be Northern Kentucky, Oakland, Milwaukee, Detroit Mercy, Youngstown State, Robert Morris, and Cleveland State, Wright State. I think if you're Green Bay, you want 2 lower seeds to win. That being Northern Kentucky, Detroit Mercy, Northern Kentucky, Milwaukee, or is that right? Yeah, so you want Milwaukee, Northern Kentucky, or Youngstown State to win, because Cleveland State's not going to be Wright State. That's not going to happen. That's a lock. But I think the key for Green Bay is not to have to play Wright State in the second round, because they're in the semifinals. That's been, well, actually, I guess you can't even really think about that, because if they have to play Wright State, that means they'll have, if they're on the track to play Wright State, that means they'll have to play likely Oakland or another one of these teams. So Green Bay really needs 2 lower seeds to win, lower than the 5, for them to get bumped off of that first round, second round action. Interesting. All right, we're going to dive more into this game when we come back, but I think now's a good time to take a break. I can kind of recollect my thoughts and get a better understanding of this, and then I can tell you guys really what this win means for fans here in Green Bay and for the, us, the people that cover it. So we'll take a quick break here on WFRV Plus Sports Night. Welcome back to WFRV Plus Sports Night. I am your host, Carson Fowler. Kyle Mall's on camera, and he's there at the Crest Event Center, currently getting post-game reaction, highlights, all that good stuff that'll be on the air in just about less than an hour, about 50 minutes. So they're going to have everything. Actually, honestly, we're going to play a fun game called Kyle Malzahn's Tweets, because I'm sure he's going crazy, and I want to see what he's saying about the team, because honestly, Kyle is the GB guy. And when I look for information about this team, he's pretty much the way to go. So definitely give him a follow if you haven't. Let's see, does he have any interesting tweets on them? No. He does not. Okay, interesting. Well, we're gonna do a little tweeting of our own. With GB men's basketball's win over Purdue Fort Wayne, the Phoenix have advanced to Indianapolis for the first time since the 2019-2020 season. That's huge, man. They will play in the second round game unless 2 lower seeds upset. upset their opponents. Interesting. Okay. So we've kind of figured that out now. In the first round. Wait a minute. Sorry. This is so funny. I'm just tweeting while on this. This is kind of stupid, but I'm just finding a image of a Green Bay. Interesting. Sorry. I really need to not be doing this. But Justin Allen, Green Bay. I'm really tweeting while on this app, man. This is funny. Anywho. All right, well. All right, actually, Kyle Malzahn's calling me. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up, dude? You are on CTV.
Oh, wow. We're wrapping up at UW Green Bay, and I'm just wondering how long you have us slotted for highlights.
I gave you guys 50 seconds.
50 seconds? Can you get that? 55?
I can even give him a minute.
Okay, we'll do a minute, and then what about sound?
25-second soundbite? You could even do more if you want.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
Do you have any post-game reaction that you can give us on CTV?
Yeah, I mean, what a game. What a turnaround. You talk about 4-28. You're talking about the longest losing streak in the country.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, when everybody throws dirt on this program's name and Doug's name, they come back and they lead this team and program to Indianapolis for the first time in over a half decade. Just an incredible turnaround. And what an atmosphere at Crest Event Center tonight. So it was a lot of fun, but they have their work cut out for them. If depending on how some other games go in the Horizon League, there is they might have to play 3 games in 3 days.
Yep.
To get to the championship. So they can celebrate tonight and see what happens after that.
So I was just saying that Green Bay now is almost hoping that either Northern Kentucky, Milwaukee, or Youngstown State, 2 of those 3 upset.
Correct.
Because then they will not have to play in the second round, which would be...
Yeah, and essentially you're in the semifinals then.
Yeah.
You're playing with house money.
I think also the bigger note of that is that you don't have to play Wright State. If Wright State beats the Cleveland State tomorrow. Because
which is the only team that they haven't beat.
Exactly. Yep. So that was what we were discussing here on CTV in the first block. The play of Preston Reedinger, I didn't get to watch the game because I was out covering high school games. 8 assists, 1 turnover. I mean, speaks for itself. How good was he tonight?
Yeah. Oh my God. It was late in the game when it's a 3-point ball game and you're thinking, is this the same old Green Bay? And then Preston Reedinger takes over. I think it was a personal 6-0 run to pretty much seal it. And at that point, you saw a kid who came into this program, stuck with them, and basically said, I'm not losing this game. And that's the mindset that GB needs going forward. And that's what they have to play with, that will, that way, and just finding a way. And for Preston, I mean, what a cool story for him. He had a bunch of family members in the crowd.
Yep.
He wasn't losing that game. He was not losing that game. And after he goes on that 6-0 run to seal it, and I'll tell you what, Carson, I'll give you this little insight that people are going to see in the highlights tonight.
Here we go.
Doug Gottlieb takes the Crest Center after the game. He's emotional with the fans and, saluting them because this was their final home game. And he gets mobbed by the student section, and he's just going crazy in the student section. And
Oh, man.
having a good time. My boy Cameron Izera, insane shot. He was in the mob.
Oh, my gosh.
Going crazy with the student section. So you talk about cool vibes. It's been a great atmosphere. I mean, it had everything here tonight at the Crest Event Center.
Man. Well, glad you guys were there to experience it. And for our viewers for watching WFRV Plus, something to note, Preston Riedinger had 11 points on just 3 shot attempts.
Yeah, I mean, he's
just how much he can impact the game when he's out there without having to shoot the ball is insane. I mean,
his impact is felt everywhere.
I mean, if he had 8 assists and he had 11 points, that means that he could have accounted for 8 times 3. Obviously they didn't have that many threes, but that's like almost 40 points.
Yeah, and kind of a crazy thing too is, Marcus Hall starts out and he's on this heater to start the game, and you're like, well, he had a few other open looks, and you're like, why isn't he shooting the ball? He cut his shooting hand open, and
oh my gosh,
game for a little bit because there's a bunch of blood on the ball. So he's talking about 2 Wisconsin kids just like fighting through stuff. I mean, it had everything tonight.
That's what you said, man. This is March. And by the way, Marcus Hall had 19 points tonight, 7 of 13 from the floor, 4 of 8 from downtown. And Kyle and I actually had talked about this earlier in the year, like what does Marcus Hall kind of do for this team? But 39 minutes, 19 points, really effective shooting percentage. I mean, definitely played a big factor in this game. And Kyle, I even said this earlier when in the first block of the show, Green Bay's kind of magic number is when they guard the ball well and they keep opponents under 75 points, they generally tend to win.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, I mean, Green Bay, by design, they limit how many offensive possessions they have, too.
Right.
And what's the most impressive to me about this one, Carson, because if you look at the box score and the game stats, is like they only use 2 bodies on the bench, Ramel Bethea.
Oh, my God, yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
They don't go to the bench that much, and yet these players were asked to do a lot in the minutes that they played, and they ended up winning the game. Like, that's the most impressive thing to me is that, like, they can win games without unleashing their bench.
And I want to highlight Ramel Bethea too. 21 minutes, which I feel like that's definitely more than he normally plays. 4 points, 2 of 3 from the floor, couple offensive rebounds, a steal and a block. I mean, that's why he's out there. He's there to protect the rim and get offensive rebounds and second chance buckets for his team. Clearly did his job. Kudos.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Ramel, at that point, you were like, okay, you can't take Ramel out because of how much he was affecting the game with just how tall he is. He's, 6'9". So, yeah, man, they had some good things going, and credit Doug Gottlieb, for sticking and staying with the course and, letting the hot hands grow, and that's exactly what he did. Justin Allen, he didn't even have a great game, and they still were able to win.
Yeah.
I don't know what he finished with, but they started to get Justin Allen going, from behind the arc, and he didn't even shoot the ball that well from behind the arc. And
no, he didn't.
He's one of those teams that likes to shoot the 3 ball, and so they're going to go into Indy and refine a few things, and I think they haven't even played their best ball yet.
That's high praise from Kyle Malzahn. Also, I want to note one more thing. Corey Hadnot II on Purdue Fort Wayne, who is one of the top scorers in the Horizon League this year, first team all conference. 15 points, 6 of 16 from the floor, 1 for 6 from 3. So they were clearly making him take deep.
The whole team.
Yeah.
Even the whole team. Look at how poor.
Yeah, they shot 5 of 24 from 3. So that's actually what's probably the most glaring thing of what Purdue Fort Wayne stat sheet looks like. Like, clearly Doug Gottlieb's like, let's make them shoot tough threes. Like, let's run them off to the 3-point line, and see if they can shoot. Tonight they couldn't.
And that's, I think, what has allowed this turnaround is how good this team is defensively.
Yeah.
You go back to last year, and they couldn't guard a brick wall, man. They couldn't, and brick walls don't move. They couldn't guard them. And then you flip over to this year, and it's just, you see it every single possession. There are very few times in a game where that was a complete defensive breakdown.
Yeah.
Guys are just so they adapt so well to switching on defense too, and obviously CJ O'Hara is their best defender, and you clean up. Obviously, I mean they rebound. The 3 things that hindered Green Bay last year, and obviously talent, but three things was rebounding, was the turnovers, and was just their defense. And
Yeah.
three are kind of coming together right now. And obviously you can tell by kind of the stat sheet that they defended at a high level and they made them take some tough shots.
And Doug said, you said it right there, protect the ball, rebound the ball, play defense. Those three things they had to do if they wanted to win this game. Kyle, really quick before we let you go, if you had to guess who Green Bay's opponent would be in the next round, if it's the second round, if it's the semifinals, who do you think it'd be? Between
it's really tough for me to say right. Yeah, can you tell me the teams? Because I didn't look at the
of course
tonight.
So the other matchups that are all happening tomorrow is Robert Morris and Youngstown State, Detroit Mercy and Milwaukee, and then Oakland and Northern Kentucky.
I'll say Oakland.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll say Oakland. I know they hit a kind of a tough stretch late in the season. It's either going to be Oakland or Detroit Mercy. Like Detroit Mercy is kind of finding their stride right now at the right time of year too. So I'd say those two for sure. And because of Greg Campe, I mean Greg Campe's the head coach of Oakland, and he's been there for over 40 years. So if there's just like that stead force that's been in these positions and can get his team ready, I mean Oakland's not a bad bet.
There you go. We heard it there. That's Kyle Malzahn reporting for us here on CTV from the Crest Event Center.
Can't get rid of me.
Can't get rid of you. Can't.
Hey,
just miss you, man.
Phoenix.
Go.
Miss you too, buddy.
Go GB. Okay, safe travels back. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers. Bye. Well, that was Kyle Malzahn. He's obviously super psyched. For those that don't know, he is a GB grad himself. I want to say of either 2020 or 21. So he's super psyched. I would be super psyched if I was a Green Bay Phoenix fan. I mean, I just feel like there's a lot going right for this team. Did a really good job against a good Purdue Fort Wayne team. But we're actually running up another break here. So we're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We'll kind of collect all of our thoughts again. That was great having him on the show. He brought a lot of good analysis from actually being there because I wasn't able to watch. Someone's got to cover the high school games, and that ended up being me tonight. So take a quick break here on WFRV Plus Sports Night. And then we'll come right back with more GB coverage. Welcome back to WFRV Plus Sports Night. I am your host, Carson Fowler. We're flying solo tonight. Just had to check the time here. 9:49 local time. Of course, this will air probably a little after 10, 10:15, 10:30, whatever it is. But again, GB, they win this one 64-56, handling Purdue Fort Wayne. They led 95% of the way. Their largest lead was 15. Now they will likely get Oakland, who would be they would be of the worst seeds. They would be the second worst, and then Green Bay would be next at 5. So the hope is that you get a couple upsets, and then Green Bay doesn't have to play in that second round game, and then they can play in the semifinal and then they can be on the opposite side of the bracket than Wright State. I think that's the key for Green Bay because they didn't beat Wright State this year. I think that's the only team that really had their number. I mean, you could even have made a case that Green Bay probably should have swept Robert Morris, who is the 2 seed. And it really is unfortunate because of just the way the tiebreakers worked. There was a 3-way tie for third, I want to say, in the conference. For third. Green Bay, Detroit Mercy, and Oakland were all 12-8 this year, but just the way that things stacked out, Green Bay ended up getting the 5 seed. So they could have been the 3, which would have been excellent because then they would have been in the semifinal game automatically had they won tonight, but that's obviously not the case. So I think you got to hope for some wins on the lower end between Youngstown State, Milwaukee, or Northern Kentucky. Again, Cleveland State's not beating Wright State. It's just not going to happen. They're probably a 12 seed in March Madness. It's not a team that I would want to play, to be honest. So we'll see, man. I mean, they played really well defensively. Didn't shoot the basketball as well as they normally have, but has, good thing for GB. They don't have to shoot the basketball really well to win games because they play really good defensive ball. So I think that's going to pretty much wrap things up. As for scheduling, the next round will be on Sunday, March 8th. If Green Bay is in the second round, if they are in the semifinals, they will play next Monday. That is March 9th. And, of course, the championship is March 10th, the following Tuesday. And then that following Sunday is Selection Sunday. And, of course, March Madness. This is March. That's going to pretty much do it for the show tonight. WFRV Plus Sports Night is the show. Follow us on Twitter at WFRV Sports. Cameron Ezier did a really nice live shot earlier today with the director of athletics, Josh Moon. They talked about hiring Doug, what it meant to see this turnaround come to fertility. What else they talk about? Just the move to have the games at the Crest instead of the Resch. So that was a good conversation. That was quick, about 2 minutes. Really easy watch. Good highlights in there too. What else do you want to highlight? Oh, Dante Johnson, Kyle Malzahn's buddy and a Fondy native from North Fond du Lac. He is a professional fighter now in the UFC. His fight will be a preliminary fight in UFC 326 on Saturday. That is on our air on CBS. So definitely tune into that. We are highlighting that all week on our 6 and 10 o'clock shows. So definitely join us there. But again, I'm rambling. That's going to do it for tonight's show. We'll see you next time.